you love entertainment, current events, and Hollywood, don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha Bean, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today, we have a very special guest.
How you doing? My name is Penny Taylor.
Welcome
And
to the show.
hey, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to talk to you. I got to listen to the new song Cuff, and I really enjoyed it. It was you have a great sound. It was a great music video. I mean, it was just super sexy and it was fun. It was very R&B and it was just like it was nice. It was very, very lovely. Very good job. Um,
Wow, thank you.
but of course, I love to always go back to the beginning. I always say the beginning kind of charts our trajectory and where we're going in life, like our little habits, the things that we pick up along the way. Um, Tell me a little bit about your childhood and kind of how did you find your way into music?
I started to get into music very young. Um, I started to listen to a variety of different music very young, which kind of once I started to get into it myself, really dive in deep in it, I had I felt like I had a better appreciation for different types of music. So I would say like my earliest like memories of me listening to music would probably be like around the house, on those like weekends or early morning Sundays,
Mhm.
where you're waking up and cleaning around the house, and your parents got they have the old oldies playing,
Yeah.
and but different, different genres. So my parents, they were pretty big into R&B, but nothing was off limits. So I got a chance to really listen to a bunch of different types of sound,
I
and
love that.
so I feel like I've always had it. I've always had it like in me. Um, and then after a while, I started to wanting to do my own music as kind of an outlet for me to express myself,
Hmm.
in a way where I just wasn't too because it was kind of difficult for me to express myself. And really like quiet guy, not really big into, well, I was a quiet guy. I'm not really big into like too much talking, or I didn't really like attention on me, but I had a lot of things that I wanted to share. Um, and that was the best way for me to get it out, was writing. And it wasn't as good as it is now. It was it was very bad. And but it was me, my first attempt, so I don't bag on it too hard, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think that's cool. Like the fact that you wasn't a person that's about like you didn't want the limelight. That wasn't your thing, but music, right, is the epitome of especially R&B. Like everyone loves R&B. It's a great genre. Sexy. It's sensual. And I think R&B gets kind of left in the shadows sometimes at award shows.
Yeah.
I don't think people take R&B seriously. Or do you feel like R&B do you think people or the music industry is taking R&B seriously now?
I think that for a while there it kind of went dark.
Mm.
Um but there were some amazing female R&B artists that kind of um pushed it back to a proper place in the industry. And now I think that it definitely gets the respect that it deserves. And
Absolutely.
um you did say something that like I wanted to expand upon Don because you said it's like R&B is like sensual and sexy, and it is, but it's also very like vulnerable. You know, it's very vulnerable. It's very deep. Um, and I think it's very relatable just because a lot of it is, you know, personal. You know, a lot of personal things in people's lives, and people can relate to it very easily.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um I think it is personal. I think it is vulnerable. And I mean it's I think putting anything out, right? Especially your baby, your art,
Yeah,
as an artist, it kind of is a little daunting. You're like, "Oh my God, like what are people going to think?" But really I think what I'm learning is that if you're authentic with yourself, I think your audience, you're gonna find that audience, that core group that like supports you no matter what, because they understand, wow, this is real. This comes from a real place. Versus like, I think a lot of people sometimes like to curate things, and there's nothing wrong with curating things, but I feel like a lot of people want the real, you know?
yeah, I
Um,
completely agree.
yeah.
I definitely agree with you. I think after like I want to say like 2020 is such a cliche year, but I really do think well, even for me especially, um, I feel like I related a little bit more to um just the real, like just the
Hmm.
personal and the real, and I could kind of feel that there was more substance in the things that I was listening to,
What were you listening
rather
to?
than oh, I was listening to a lot of around that time. It was Bryson Tiller
Oh,
actually.
I love that
Um
man.
and that anniversary album, which was
Oh,
just I feel
amazing.
like anytime he drops, it's always it's a moment in my life where he's speaking about everything that I'm going through. So he has a special place in my top artists, you know. He's amazing.
Absolutely. And you are too. I really love Cuff. Tell me about the process about it. And, I remember reading something. It says that, this was, a song expressing the desire to actually be in a relationship with someone. So,
Mhm.
tell me about that. Like, why Cuff?
Um well, I felt like there weren't like many songs that were um out that at least I could hear or listen to that I knew about that were just jumping out the window with it about wanting to actually be in a relationship and not having those it's not just like, you know, you're my side piece or, you know, we just messing around.
Hmm.
This is for fun or whatever. Like I wanted to make a song that was like, you know, in your face, like, no, I want to be in a relationship with you. Like I want to cuff I want to cuff you. Like and I don't and I want you to know it. I don't want to beat around the bush. Like I'm not trying to beat around the bush. I'm not trying to play games. This
Right.
is this is me and this is what I, you know, this is what I want with you.
Right. How do you, so now I'm curious, I don't want to say, ask your age, but I want to, I'm curious, how does one know when they're ready to cuff someone? Like Beyonce's talking about cuffing it up, on
Yeah.
her album. Like, I'm just so curious. Like, how do you know when you're ready? Like, what
I think
signs?
well for me, it was definitely just trial and error.
Okay.
You know, losing, learning, and then applying to whatever was the next relationship, if there was one. Um,
Mm.
and you know, just learning from your mistakes, taking some time and maybe taking some time to not be with anybody and love it. You know, learn to love yourself and you know, be the best version of you that you can be for someone. And once you're at that level, nothing's ever perfect, but you know, I feel like you do the work, you're able to withstand the test.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. That's great. And I also read that that this song was completely different from from your previous work. Tell me about that. Like, what made you want to expand and do something different this time?
So I'll tell you the story behind that. So my I was playing my original idea that I had for my album for my dad, and I had a couple of like R&B songs on there, and he started to tell me like, you should really lean more into your R&B side. You're really good at it. Like,
Hmm.
not to say that I can't do the rap side, but it was like you have something special with this R&B side, and he has been probably my biggest critic. So because he was there when I first started making music and
Nice.
telling me that, nah, that ain't it. No, that ain't it. Like, but he never told me to stop, or to not keep going with it. So
Hmm.
over the years and of practice, repetition, and I brought the original album to him, and he told me, yeah, you should lean more into it, and that's what I did. I leaned more into the R&B, and I really tried to make a hit record. Um, and my idea of a hit record was, catchy, relatable, easy to, digest, but it has moments in there that are special.
Right.
Um and yeah, he played it for him after I wrote it, and it's like, yeah, this is the one.
This is
Like,
the
you got to
one.
push this one. This is the one.
I love that. No,
And
it's great. I love that. I have a fun question for you, and there's no wrong answer. But the
okay.
three levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you can choose one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
uh Respect.
Mm-hmm.
Respect for sure. I feel
Why?
like yeah, because I feel like what's the power without the respect there? Is it just fear? Um,
Mm.
I'd rather be I'd rather I mean, people, of course, people love power, so but I'd rather have the respect behind it. I feel like there's a little bit of love in there too, if there's some respect behind it. And then money, who doesn't want money? But it's not the end all be all
Yeah,
behind happiness. So
yeah.
it's definitely respect.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. Um, what keeps you going, in tough times? I'm sure we all kind of go through those moments when you're not inspired to write, or when it's just not coming. Maybe there's like, some writer's block. You're like, I don't know what to do. Um, what keeps you going in those times?
Um, Life.
Mm-hmm.
I you know, I can't. There's Of course there's moments where you just, like you said, there's writer's blocks, and sometimes it just ain't there. It's just you're not really getting it. But I always attribute that to maybe I haven't lived enough life to really write down what needs to be written on this particular song yet. So
Oh, you feel
I
like
don't
you
think,
need to live it in order to know how to
yeah.
write it. I see.
Yeah, maybe I haven't like let a couple weeks go by, live some life, hear different things from different people, maybe hear some things, or talk about things with somebody, just really live some, and maybe I haven't lived enough for the words to come to me yet. I like for
Mm,
it to be a conversation with the instrumental, you know.
absolutely. Do you do beats as well? Have you ever done that? Do you produce, or you just strictly do music and lyrics and stuff like that?
Okay, so yeah, so this is creator to creator, so I got to be honest. I definitely tried. I tried to make it once. it was so bad, and it took me like 5 or 6 hours out of my day. So I was
I
like,
love
you
it.
know what? I'll just leave this. I'll leave this up to the experts, and I'll do what I do.
Hey, I
So
love that though. I love that you tried. I love that energy. That's great.
yeah, yeah, definitely got to try. You can't say I have to try at least once. Now I'm good.
I
I'm,
love
I'm
that.
definitely good on that.
All right, I have a really fun question. It's kind of hard, but I mean, again, there's no wrong answer, no pressure.
Okay. Okay.
All right, R&B artist. We have Chris Brown and we have Usher. Which one are you going to kill off and which one are you going to go with?
Oh, that is hard. Um, I gotta go with Chris Brown.
Okay.
o- Only because he's more like I grew up with Chris Brown.
Right.
I had to tap back into Usher. That was
Yeah.
more so when I was like a baby, so I wasn't even really. But I grew up with Chris Brown, so like I was there
Yes.
for everything in each album, each hit song, like so he has a lot of real estate in my life as far as music goes. So I gotta go with Chris.
Yeah, I like that. Great answer. Yeah, no, same. I grew up with Chris as well, and I got to shoot a music video for Chris and maybe like 5 years ago, and that was kind of like a monumental moment for me. I was like, holy
Oh
crap,
wow. No, that's
crazy.
special.
Chris freaking Brown. He's still at it, and he's so talented. I think they're both very much respected R&B artists for sure. I think Usher's
Mhm.
definitely more of the older generation and he's getting his flowers, which is great. But I feel like Chris doesn't get a good fair shake because of the scandals that happen.
Yeah. Well,
you
I mean,
know?
yeah, you live your life like he's lived his life for us like
Yeah.
almost his entire life. So it's like nobody's perfect,
Yeah.
but at least he did the work, at least he did the work to redemption. And I respect that.
Yeah, I think everybody should have a be able to come back 100%.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate though when your life is such, out there for the public to dissect and kind of critique it. And that's the thing about this business that I don't like is that people only they judge you from from what you put out and they don't really know who you are as a person and that's kind of the part of this business that I really unfortunately don't like. But you have to have thick, tough skin.
Yeah, I completely agree. I
Do you,
completely agree.
do you feel like the music industry is changing for the better in favor of the artist?
Um, uh, I would say that there's definitely better options.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if it's like changing for the better or worse because I'm not in it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of on the outside looking in. So from the outside looking in, I mean, I see that there's like so many options for independent, labels to thrive, which
Right.
I mean, that's great,
It's beautiful, right?
It is. It really is. So
But
many because it's so many opportunities.
But at the same time, you're kind of competing against, the Taylor Swift, like a Billboard chart. Like you want to climb those charts. Like your song can get on those charts. Like if it does really well with streaming and stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
and those are some huge guys to compete with. But I'm with you. How do you feel about AI? Like that's another thing too. A lot of people are like, well, AI is evil, and I'm thinking, well, there's some leverage to that you can use to your benefit, especially indie artists. I think,
Yeah.
there's a lot you can cut down the cost of hiring so many people to an AI to do it.
Yeah. I honestly, it just depends on how you use it, I want to say. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very helpful at times.
Yeah.
As far as like AI and music, um, like I'm all for the art, I'm all for the art from like a human. Um, but people, if it resonates with people, and then hey, if it resonates with them, hey,
Absolutely.
a lot of people can kind of tell when something is like penned by an actual person because I feel like there's just more feeling in it.
Yeah.
There's more.
Hmm. Absolutely. I agree with that. Um, it says that you're working on a title called The Butterfly Effect.
Mhm. Yes.
So tell me a little, I mean, if you can tell us just a little bit about that and the inspiration behind that.
Well, uh, so the Butterfly Effect is an EP that I'm going to be wanting to, well, I'm pushing to release in be top of next year.
All right.
Um, and yeah, it just came about. We were trying to, really get this image for the Penny Taylor brand
Hmm.
refined. Um, and we ended up going with uh the butterfly as just a representation because it just spoke to me in so many different levels. There's so many different meanings that resonated with me pertaining to the butterfly and um things of that nature. So um yeah, and then I also like the idea of the butterfly effect and things that you do in the past can alter your future. Because I feel
Hmm.
like that's life. I mean, that makes just the most sense to me that that's how things would work, right? And
Absolutely.
I feel like in my own life, I can see where the butterfly effect affected me,
Mm-hmm.
affected me in my future. So, but you learn to live with everything and um, do your best. But yeah,
Absolutely. I mean, that's all you can do, right? You have to just have you seen The Butterfly Effect, the film?
yeah, with Ashton
Oh,
Kutcher, it's a
yeah. Oh,
great
yeah.
movie.
Fantastic film, right? So,
It's a
so
great movie.
good. So good. So good.
So good,
Um,
yes.
huh?
I said, yeah, I agree with you. It's like, it's amazing.
It's so good. And like, I mean, this the cast is crazy. Such a good film. It's like mad old, but it's still a classic to this day. Um, I was gonna say, because I'm really curious about like, you know, when do you write when you are inspired or you just write just on whatever when like for me it's like I do better when I feel the inspiration that hits, and I feel
Mhm.
like something good is going to come out of that. I used to just write and do whatever, because like society tells you have to always be busy, you have to do this, you have to do that, and I'm thinking like I don't want to. I want to be on my own compass, my own
Mhm.
time. And I feel like if when I'm on God's flow, like source, which we all are inside, we're connected to God. I feel like it just works.
I completely agree. I definitely agree with you. I think uh do I write when I'm like inspired? I would say it's kind of like a marriage between I'm inspired to listen to beats
Hmm.
because um I may have like a thought in my head about like a situation that I've I've recently went through or somebody's told me about a situation that they recently went through and I'm like, man, that would make a great like song. Let's see if I can find a beat that's gonna allow me to have a conversation with it.
I get that. I so get that. Yeah, I love that. Love that. What advice would you give to that young person that's listening, that child, that or man or woman, female or boy, that wants to get into the music industry? What advice would you tell them?
Um, I would say, you know, respect yourself and your craft. Um, Definitely learn as much as you can about the industry, but also music itself. Um, Tap into your history with music, um, and really learn from a lot of the greats before you. Um, and yeah, just never stop.
Never stop. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I remember it's so funny. A lot of people like when they ask me, they're like, "Oh man, like it's amazing that things are working out for you." I'm like, "Yeah, I've been at it for 20 almost 20 years now." I might not look it, but it's been almost 20 years, you know? It's one of those things I always tell people like this is a business that you have to absolutely love. You know,
Mhm.
it's not a microwave success. And I've noticed a lot of the newcomers or just young people that have that this idea of like, oh yeah, I just want to be Kim Kardashian. I'm like, well, take some time to get there, you know. It's not a
Yeah,
microwave success.
yeah. Everybody's path is different. You know, the
Absolutely.
next person's path may not be your path, and that may be for a reason. So
Yeah.
enjoy your path.
Yes. Enjoy your path. Absolutely. So the title Cuff, did you like what made you call it Cuff? Like out of all things, Cuff.
Um,
I mean, it's a catchy word.
yeah. So, I mean, because the hook is, I want to cuff right now.
Oh,
I was gonna call it cuff season, but I was
uh-huh.
like, I feel like a one word title hits a little bit different,
Yeah, for sure.
and
For
it's
sure.
easier to look up. So easier to look up, and it hits a little bit different. Just that one word.
It does. It really does. Have you gotten to perform it live yet?
Oh yeah, yeah. We performed
Ooh.
it a few times actually.
Tell me what was
Um,
the response? What was that feeling like? You performed it.
it's oh, it's the best feeling I've ever felt. You know,
Mhm.
it really is because um I performed it and they don't know this song. It's like it wasn't even out yet at the time. So they don't really know it. But by the time the first verse ends, they're singing it along with me. So um
Oh,
yeah, it's amazing. It's a
that is
feeling I can't even really
amazing.
describe.
That's incredible. Seriously. Yeah, when the audience, I mean, it must feel like such a high, right? To be on stage and performing your song that you wrote and someone singing it back. It's like, holy moly, you know, like the power of
Yeah.
music, right? It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is. Like, oh, and I actually never been to a concert on my own, right? So I never
What?
actually went to, yeah, I know. I know. I'm
Oh,
waiting for
him.
that special concert that I'm like, this is the one.
Oh my gosh, are
Um,
you serious? Okay, who's one of your okay. If you could attend any concert, like let's say they set it up, you don't have to worry about anything, you just show up. What
uh-huh.
concert would that be? It could be living or dead, actually.
Living or dead is hard because I mean, I'm always gonna go with Michael Jackson,
Oh,
you know.
same, same,
That should be
100%.
everybody's first. Like, but if we're going to go like just straight living, I would say um The Weekend.
You know what's funny? That I've been hearing the weekend in many interviews and conversations. I have yet to go through his his resume, like all that he's done. I know he's super talented. I know his brother is Maxwell, who's an R&B singer, but yeah, the
Oh
weekend's
wow.
really good. But I'm like, I guess I just haven't really fully went through his resume of music. I gotta check that out. But I've been hearing a lot of people say The Weeknd, so there's something to that. Does he remind you of Michael Jackson?
No, he
No.
doesn't actually.
Hmm.
He doesn't.
Interesting.
The Weekend, for me at least, he appeared at like a time when I was like in high school, and he just like again like these moments in my life, right? And there's music that go along with that goes along with it. Um, so yeah, he just appeared out of like for me at least when I was like dead smack in the middle of high school,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, he was just speaking like so clear. Like I understood like exactly what he was saying and how he wanted you to feel when you were listening to it.
Right.
And then the way he just over the years, the way he's just evolved his sound and what's like popular in music is just crazy. So talented.
Oh yeah, he's definitely he's someone that pushes the envelope for sure, you know, like you just never know what he's gonna do.
Yeah,
And
so good.
I think that there's something awesome about that for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
you gotta give him a listen.
I'm definitely gonna. I saw one of his like like his Super Bowl, I think his performances. I was like, wow, that was incredible. And I just never really got into it, to getting into his resume, but I definitely will now. I'll give it a good listen for sure. Um, what are you working on next? Would you like that you could share with our audience if you have
Yeah,
anything coming?
of course I gotta share. Um, yeah, so right now we're pushing Cuff just, all hands on deck, just pushing it as hard as we can. And I'm working on the next single that will come after Cuff.
Okay.
Um, we have a few options. So I'm working on multiple songs right now, just trying to figure out which one is the one that's gonna
The
land
one.
after
Absolutely.
after Cuff.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure talking to you and just to get to know more about what you're doing and all that you have going on. But thank you
Thank you.
so
It was
much
a
again.
yeah, of course. It was a pleasure speaking to you as well. I had an amazing time talking to you and on this great platform.
Thank
Um,
you.
and yeah, hope we get to speak again one day
Absolutely. Come back anytime. It was really fun. I enjoyed it.
for
And
sure.
so you're in Alaska. Wow. Is that the place that's like really, really cold and like
Yeah, it's definitely cold. It's not cold all the time, but majority
really?
of the time, yeah. Majority of the time it's pretty cold.
Amazing. I gotta visit. I've never been there. I gotta check it out.
Please do. Let me know when you get up here.
I definitely will. I definitely will. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And where can people find you on social media to follow everything you have going on?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, at Penny Taylor 24 underscore. I'm on Facebook as Penny Taylor. I'm also on all streaming platforms as Penny Taylor. And we're on YouTube as well. It's Penny Taylor. The Cuff video just came out. Please check it out. It's nice.
Please check it out. Absolutely. 100%. Thank you again. It was a pleasure. And I just really enjoyed our time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Good night.